Good morning, YouTube family. It's a beautiful day here in H-Town. I don't know where you are, but I hope you're getting the same vibe that we're getting here. Got a special guest for you today, family. Been trying to get this lady here for the longest. Today is 11/13 Thursday. I always put the date on it because our show doesn't come every week. Sometimes it's supposed to be every other week, but sometimes it goes to the third week. So today is 11/13 Thursday. One more time here in Houston, Texas, Third Ward, Texas to be exact. That's where our university is located in. For your life, health, auto, home, retirement needs, please contact Rose Insurance Agency. I'm always here for the call. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you Texas Southern's Interim Athletic Director, Dr. Paula Jackson. Dr. Jackson, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
What we want to do today is enlighten the viewing audience about what's happening over there and what we can look forward to from TSU athletics and anything else that you might want to expound on, okay?
Okay, great.
So what we're going to start off with, though, is I want you to tell the listening audience a little bit about yourself. Where did you matriculate from, and what's your hometown, and what school you went to, and how did you get into HBCU athletics?
Okay, absolutely. Where I am from the bottom of the boot. I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I am a Southern University grad, two-time HBCU grad, Southern University and Clark Atlanta University. My PhD came from North Central University, but two-time HBCU grad. I literally grew up 1 mile from Southern University's campus.
We're not going to hold that against you.
We are not. I tell it everybody now. I put a T in front of my S in front of my U.
There you go. There you go. Our band director family is also a former Southern University. Well, he's not a former Southern University. He is a Southern University alumni.
Yes.
And we love him to death. He's been on my show twice. Love him.
Yes.
He's had the two biggest shows I've had here. And I tell him all the time, I've tried to get him this year. No, Rose, let me try to fit you in. I said, you got to come, Brian. I said, my numbers go up when you come.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yes.
He is
Go
awesome.
ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
You're fine. So as I said, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is where my journey into sports started. You know anything about the South, what we do down here is sports on Saturdays. Football, football is king. So probably 3 or 4 years old, I started traveling to Southern University games with my parents. We're both huge sports fans. And that's where my love of sports started. I also attended Southern University Laboratory School, so I literally grew up on that campus. Did. Yeah,
that's the high school. That's the high school in Baton Rouge that you attended.
Yes, goes from kindergarten to 12th grade.
Wow.
Yes, so from 4th grade until I graduated from college, I was on that campus.
Now, did you major in anything deal with athletics?
I did not. I made kind of, sort of.
Okay.
Because I love sports so much, I knew in 11th grade, whatever I did, it needed to revolve around sports. So this was before majors like sports marketing, sports leadership. Those majors weren't really popular then.
Okay.
So the way I looked at it, I'll go into journalism and I'll be a sportscaster. Okay. So that was my initial train of thought.
Okay.
Yes, so I went to Southern, got a degree in broadcast and print journalism, and started on this journey. Of course, coming into journalism, you can't really go straight into what you want to do. So my first job was as a legislative reporter, which was, I said, this is absolutely amazing and crazy at the same time, to be in there with the legislators where they're actually making the laws that govern us.
Right.
Yeah, that was a lot. But still had this love of sports and trying to figure out how to get into it. So eventually I moved to Atlanta to start grad school at Clark Atlanta.
Okay.
So my vision shift to the business side of sports.
Okay.
So got my MBA and just started knocking on doors. At Southern, I was not a traditional athlete. In high school, I ran track and cheered. In college, I hung up my track cleats, but I continued to cheer.
Yeah, did you?
So it was difficult for me to go back to my coach and say, can you help me get into the business? So I had to figure out my own way in. Graduated with my MBA and started working in corporate America, but still had the sports thing in the back of my head. So I worked at MTV in sports in sports. See, sports on the brain.
That's okay.
Worked at
That's
MTV
what you do now.
in sales and marketing. Every single presentation that I did had a sports theme. Okay. They just knew, when I got up, it's like, okay, which, is it going to be basketball, football? What sport is she talking about today? Okay. I was the vice president of marketing for an insurance brokerage firm. Oh, wow. And I started the sport and entertainment division there. One of our first clients was Evander Holyfield, so I might date myself just a little bit. Okay. But one of our first clients was Evander Holyfield in that unit, and still had that, I want to do this day to day. I started my own company, which is Sports in Focus, and Sports in Focus is sports marketing, strategic planning, event planning, and I worked around a lot of larger events, doing smaller events around them. And I was also marketing consultant for the Bayou Classic when State Farm was their title sponsor. I worked with the State Farm side. Okay. So it's been a journey. I did 5 years with the Atlanta Falcons, with their game day operations team.
What did that consist of?
Really, my main responsibility became ticketing or the credentials. Okay. So I handled the will call list for the players. Okay. I also did public relations when they had at the end of each quarter, when you're disseminating all of the information. I was a part of that team. So
was it during prime time then?
It was.
Or Michael Vick?
When Vick was, when he came in, I was leaving.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
and Prime had left, had been traded when you got there.
Right. So I was kind of in the middle. Okay. But it was fun. Working with professional sports is different, of course. And then my responsibility of working with the players and their will call list was really different. Because, folks are showing up and they're not on the list. And, when he said that, hey, yeah, that's a story for a different podcast.
I can imagine them walking up. Paula, I sent that to you and asked you to put these two people's name on, and you looking like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. But it was, as I said, it was fun. It was a great experience. And then it overlapped with me finally getting into the collegiate space. Okay. So Clark Atlanta hired their first female athletics director, who ironically came from Southern and had been a mentor of mine and family friend. So I called her to congratulate her, offered to be her Uber before Uber came. Yeah, to help her, go around and look for a house and say, by the way, I still have an interest in getting into the business. And a couple of months later, she called and offered me the position for assistant athletics director and senior woman administrator. And I've been running on this journey ever since.
Dreams do come true.
They do.
But they don't come true if you sit around. You have to go out and try to get. People talk about luck. You make your luck. You can't just sit around and things fall in your lap. This lady here is a prime example. Got the smarts to have made it in the business world, but that's not what she wanted. She wanted to get into sports, and wasn't nobody gonna hold you back from that.
That's true. This is my passion, and having worked in professional sports and now collegiate sports, this is where I'm supposed to be. I got into this business because of my love of sports, but I've stayed here because of my passion for the student athletes that we serve, and that's what drives me on a day-to-day basis.
Now, did TSU? Did we find you? Or was there a act by you to say, look, hey, if you're looking for someone, I'm available?
The position was posted on LinkedIn. Okay. And I applied and got a phone call to go through the process. And ironically, the week before, I was at the SWAC MEAC Challenge in Atlanta. So I kept looking at my phone, just making sure I'm not missing a call or email or anything. And that Tuesday after the SWAC MEAC Challenge, I got the call. I was on campus on Friday, and the first football game was Saturday. And we've been rolling ever since.
Wow. How do you like it here so far?
I absolutely love it. I'm a fan of Houston anyway. Going back to the beginning of our conversation, I said that my parents were huge sports fans and my dad loved baseball. So this was the closest pro baseball team to us. So at least 1 month of every summer was spent in Houston going to see the Astros play.
Wow. I can remember, I played baseball at Texas Southern.
Yep.
Southern kept great teams during the time. I'm from back in the day. From back in the day, they had great teams. You may have been there when Ricky Weeks was there.
I remember.
Yeah. Ricky's behind me later on, but they had some great guys before then. Danny Goodwin and things of that nature. Danny Goodwin was
yes.
one of
Coach
the
Cato is one of my favorites.
Right.
He's
okay.
a great, just a great human being.
Yes. He was there a long time, very long time, and they've always had great baseball teams. A few of the guys from my high school team went there to play, and how we started going to TSU was we won state championship, and he took like about 6 of the guys. TSU was just getting started. He said, "We got scholarships for all y'all that want to come."
Well, that's awesome.
It was great. It was great. Now, I can remember the days you say that you started when you were young, traveling with your dad. I used to look at it and become so envious, but a guy explained it to me about Southern. I said, it's pitiful. We let Southern come in here and fill up their side, then they start coming over here with their brash self and start trying to fill up our side. So you probably was a part of that when you're growing up. That was the thing, that don't let Southern come. If you come early, because they'll try to fill up their side and come over here and fill up your side too.
Yeah, that was one of the things when the schedules would come out. My mom and dad would sit down and map out, because my mom worked at Southern too. So 38 years.
Yeah, you got
so
all
my
your
dad
blood.
would have to schedule his vacation time around the schedule.
Yeah.
So we knew, and I was at Southern Lab. As I said, I cheered. So Friday nights we would go to our football games. I would cheer, get in our van, still with my uniform on, and drive to wherever Southern was playing. My dad, they had a group of friends, and they all had vans. Yeah. So we would travel to games in our vans.
She's not lying. I mean, and it was that way. And the guy had told me, he said, man, we like 28 years old. This was during the 70s, at the school. He said, you wait till we become 50, 60, 70 years old. Then we have more generations that have attended and their kids and so forth have attended. We'll start traveling a little bit better. And it has picked up. But now, you guys don't do it like you used to do it when Pete Richardson was there, because you were winning all the time.
Yes.
But you still do it. You still do it. Now, I'm going to lead into this, and that is that what can we expect as alums at Texas Southern University on the horizon, that football, baseball, basketball, what is happening that's going to be new for us to anticipate?
I think just the excitement. We've had a good year so far. My 2.5 months has been great. We've had some really good success. Football is doing well. Even though we lost last weekend, it was a good game. And I could see improvements from the beginning of the season up until now. And, that one was tough because it was back and forth. It was a shootout back and forth. They would score, we would score. And I saw them just get a little bit down, and then Alabama State scored twice, and that was, the end of it. But they're playing well. I'm excited for this weekend. Of course, we're going to Southern this weekend, so I'm really excited for this weekend. It's my birthday weekend, so I've told the guys, y'all know what I want for my birthday.
Wow.
So, understand the assignment.
I went last year to Southern. No, Southern came here a year before last. I went, and we had a pretty good turnout there. So, like I said, we're starting to travel like you guys always have. Yeah.
And I've been talking to the alumni chapters, and they're planning to turn up this weekend. Turn up and turn out.
Okay. Now, speaking of that, my show, I let a few of my real good listeners that always call and ask me questions about who you going to have on. And I told them about you. They said, well, ask about the coach. They won't keep him. But, we lose, and people be like, get rid of him, and it's like, I said, look, HBCUs are not in a position, and I talked about this on my last show, to just fire people like Auburn, Florida. We can't pay off contracts and still go get somebody and pay another contract. We generally eat it. And then my listener said, Southern did. He said, they still playing Dooley, and now they're going to get ready to pay this other guy again. I said, well, Southern may have a little bit more money than TSU does.
Yeah, that's another podcast.
How has that dynamic worked? Whereas, because I was like, I don't think Southern schools, no one could do it. I said, they're going to probably keep Graves. If he got a 4-year contract, they're going to probably keep him one more. They might can eat 1 year, but we don't eat any years. Because we got to ride them out, you know.
Yeah, well, as I said, the team is doing, I'm speaking of Texas Southern right now, the team is doing well. That 4-game win stretch, everybody was super excited about it. We had a little hiccup last week, but they played well. I'm not seeing anybody really just come in and blow us away.
Okay.
So those are the things that we look for. Are we being progressive? And that's what I see. With all of our teams. Volleyball is still playing. SWAC tournament is coming up. They've had, a couple of slides, but I think they are gearing up and they'll be ready for the tournament. Soccer had a good season. They were really competitive. And of course, now we've tipped off for basketball. We had our first doubleheader last night. Guys played well, took it into overtime, and, didn't quite come out the way we wanted it to. But again, when you see them battling, that's the thing.
That's all you can ask for.
Exactly.
If you leave it on the court, that's all you can ask for.
Exactly.
That's all you can ask for.
So I'm excited about what I've seen since I've been here. The coaches are really engaged, and the student athletes have bought in to what the coaches are saying and what we're trying to do. I had a staff meeting earlier today, and my mantra to them, what we are building ourselves on. If you go in the arena, all around the arena, you see the words "be legendary." So my challenge to them was be legendary. We have it up. That's supposed to be our thing, right? So we have to personify that. So I'm saying that to our coaches. I'm saying that to our student athletes. You all put this up. This was here when I got here.
Right.
So I'm seeing this. So how do we live up to this? That's the challenge to everybody. And I think we're progressing. As I said, we're getting there. And when you see the progression being done, that's what excites you, because we're just going to keep working and it's going to get better.
Now, I know coaches run their teams. By chance, if you thought something wasn't going right, and I'm asking you this as like a GM on a pro team. The offense wasn't moving good. Now you can't go in, well, you could probably go in and talk X's and O's, but you sound very knowledgeable. But do you have those type of meetings with the head football coach, the head basketball coach, the head baseball coach, and things like that? Not telling them what they should be doing, but just trying to see where their mindset is and what they're trying to do.
When I initially came in, I asked everybody to complete a manager's action plan, all of our head coaches, all of our unit leaders. And in that plan, it outlines every single facet of your program. So if you're talking about basketball, tell me why you recruited this person. That may be, when I'm going through your plan, that may trigger me to ask that question. So I can go back and say, okay, you said you were going to recruit this type of player. Who is that person? Why are you recruiting him? How does he fit into the program? So I can have conversations like that. I tell parents, do not call me about your son or daughter not playing. Right. I do not have conversations with coaches about playing time.
Right, by that.
That's why we hired them.
Yeah, right.
But anything else we can have a conversation about. I want them to know that, I understand what you're doing. And if it's something that I don't understand, I'm going to ask you a question. So I can. The only way I can support you is if I understand what you're doing and why. So they know they can call me. We can have conversations at any time about anything, and vice versa. Okay. If I have a question, hey, coach, I got a question about this. Can we talk for a minute? I am I think if you go back to any of the institutions where I've worked and talk to my coaches, they will say, she's a coach's administrator. Okay. And I've heard them say that. That wasn't me. I've heard them say that. Because I'm here to support. I've heard people say you're super loyal to your coaches, but that's the way we're supposed to be. Yeah. We're supposed to have each other's backs, because I work from a team mentality. From a family mentality, because in athletics we spend so much time at work. We've got weekends, holidays, long nights. We have to function like a family. That doesn't mean that we're going to agree on everything. That doesn't mean that we're always going to be happy, and we're going to have some disagreements. But as family, we have those disagreements, and then we hug it out and keep going.
There you go. There you go. Now, rehash again the schools that you actually were in this position at. It's kind of like evaded me since you told me.
Savannah State.
You were the athletic director, not you were actually athletic director.
Yeah,
okay.
interim athletics director, Savannah State. Lincoln University in Missouri.
Missouri.
Hampton.
Okay.
And now Texas Southern.
Yeah. You guys travel like coaches. Coaches kind of go, they're here 4 years, they're here 2 years, they're here 3 years, and they're 4 years, and so forth. And
You're
so
right. And that's for this position. Now, I've actually been at 8 institutions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and name them off in what capacity.
So, Clark Atlanta, Assistant Athletics Director and SWA. Morehead State in Kentucky, Assistant AD, SWA, Director of Marketing. Savannah State, Assistant AD, SWA, then Interim Athletics Director. Okay. Lincoln University, Athletics Director. Lincoln, Mississippi Valley, Assistant AD, SWA. Alabama State.
You were at Alabama State?
Associate AD. Then Hampton. Deputy AD, Chief of Staff, Senior Woman Administrator, and Interim AD. Norfolk State, Deputy AD for External Relations. And now here, Texas Southern.
Texas Southern. I mean,
I started like 10 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, wait a minute. There used to be this thing about wives following their husbands and athletic directors around like this. Are you married?
I'm divorced.
Okay, but you were married.
Yes.
So.
But that was before all of this.
Oh, it's before. Okay.
Well, there was some carryover. I'll take that back. That was some carryover when I was at Clark Atlanta.
Okay, because because coaches would always say that the spouse is so critical to me being able to do my job, that not critical in that making sure you know what you're talking about, but in fact, when you go home, you can just relax, because they know you've had a hard time doing what you do. Yeah, it's so that, it opens your eyes in that here's a lady able to do what these guys do. And
single parent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Able to do what these guys do. And they travel the globe, not necessarily for fun, but for a profession and for your job, for your livelihood. And you deal with it just like the guys do.
Absolutely. And for me...
Was it hard in the beginning, or was it because your love of what you're doing it never bothered you?
Never. I think for me, and like I said previously, I worked in corporate America first. So when I got in, I felt like I needed a lot of experience in a lot of different environments. So I did move around a lot. Once I got to Hampton, I was there longer than any other place. I was there 9 years. And people were like, you still at Hampton? You don't usually stay for 2-3 years and out. But I found it was a very comfortable place for me because my athletics director gave me carte blanche to try new things, do new things, and to stretch. Right. So in that position, I brought in 3 new sports. I brought in women's soccer, men's lacrosse, and women's triathlon. I wrote grants to bring in money. I started a Classroom on the Road program. So he allowed me to do different things and kind of experiment. And luckily, they all worked. And, we went through conference realignment, so I was a part of that twice in 4 years, which was really crazy, but a great experience for me professionally. Again, it gave me an opportunity to stretch, get outside of my comfort zone, and do some things that really I had never thought about doing before, and really just strengthen my wheelhouse. And, I'm very appreciative for that experience, but it was a building process. As I said, when I came into Clark Atlanta, that was my first opportunity. And I said to my athletics director, I want to learn as much as I can, as quick as I can. And they always tell you, be careful what you ask for. Because in
He's waiting on somebody like you.
4 years. 3 years. I wrote out everything that I had done. I had 5 pages handwritten back and front of everything that I had touched in college athletics. It was everything. So I've literally done it all. I've even done coaching, interim coach.
What did you coach?
Savannah State volleyball.
Did you know anything about volleyball?
I had been a great spectator. And, you know, my AD, our coach, she had a baby and she ended up not coming back. But she didn't let us know until like 2 weeks before
the season?
Camp.
Wow.
So, you know, he comes in my office and he's, Coach is not coming back. I was like, yeah, I heard. What you gonna do? He said, well, you're going to be our coach. I was like, okay. So he's like, well, you're the SWA, which has absolutely nothing to do with volleyball. But I knew the game. And I had been the sport administrator, and I had a really strong assistant coach. So I leaned on him a lot. But then, you know, throughout the season, I picked up some things, and, you know, we brought some trophies home. So, you know, and then my AD was like, okay, well, you can keep. No, I'm good. But now, the same thing happened the next year. So I did it 2 seasons.
Speaking of that, family, I know y'all see this rock on her finger. Let the audience know what that represents.
So I talked about...
Shayla, can you get a close-up of that? Can you see that? That ring, is it on there pretty good?
And this one?
Yeah, that's your camera. Point that at them right there.
So I talked about conference realignment when I was at Hampton. And this ring is one of my favorites because it was our last MEAC championship. And this was men's basketball. This was the last championship we won in the MEAC. Right. And then we moved to the Big South. Right. Basketball was one of the sports that I oversaw as their sport administrator. And this was a great team.
Didn't they win a game in the tournament? Yeah, they won a game. They had a good team that year. Yeah, they won a game in the tournament that year.
This one is one of my favorites, and I wear it as motivation to myself, as well as this one. This is actually a national championship ring. So when I was at Lincoln, we won 2 national championships in the same year. Wow. So I wear these as motivation to myself to, you know, if you really push and step outside of the box,
it can be done.
It can be done, and you can come out and shock the world.
Right.
I mean, here, this is that small HBCU Division II school that won 2 national championships in the same year, and they had a dynasty there in track. So these are the stories that we tell about, that we should tell about our HBCUs. And same thing here at Texas Southern. So I told my coaches, I'm waiting for y'all to replace this. And I'm waiting.
Have you found that the powers that be above you are getting out of your way and giving you the room? They're not micromanaging you, are they?
No, I've been given the power, if you will, to manage the program, because people will say, well, you know, you're interim. Are you managing as an interim? I don't know what that is. Right. It's like either you come in and you manage full out or you don't.
Right.
So I am managing as if I am the full-time athletics director, because in my mind, that's what I am.
You are.
When I talk to my coaches, student athletes, and staff, I present myself that way.
Dr. J, she gave me permission to call her that.
I did.
Dr. J, is there something building in the horizon? You were kind of like just general a moment ago when I asked, is anything building that the fans and the alumni of Texas Southern can get happy about that's getting ready to happen?
We're having conversations about NIL. So make sure that you all support. We'll be sending some things out. Probably at the beginning of the year, we want to make sure that all the programming is in place prior to the launch. But that's going to be, you know, one of the big things. We want to make sure that we're competitive in that space, that when we go out and recruit, we can have those conversations about how we're supporting in that space. And one of the things that I always tell people, well, let me back up a little bit. Right before I came to Texas Southern, I was managing my own company, and we added an NIL component to that. Okay. So I've been doing education on NIL. While I was still at Norfolk State, we had an NIL summit, education, where we taught not only our student athletes how to take advantage of it, but also our university partners, sponsors, alums, so they would know how they could support in this area. So we'll have one. We've started the plans now. That will be in January. The tentative date right now is the 22nd and 23rd of January. So all of you are invited to come out and be a part of that. And also support. If you have businesses, please, connect with our student athletes so you can support them, not just from a collective standpoint, but we want to do individual deals with our students as well. Collectives, of course, are important. But for us as HBCUs, we have to find other ways to be present in the space. So if we have a donor out there that can write us a $10 million check, we are waiting. I have my director of development here with me. Ms. Hughes will be more than happy to take that check and that information, but most of the time we don't have that donor. But we're trying to find those people who can support a collective. But by the same token, we can do individual deals with students and support them in that way. So it's not just our revenue generating sports, but it's all of our sports.
Look in that camera again and let the listening audience know, because that's basically what most of my people are, TSU alums and SWAC people, because it doesn't matter to me if you're part of SWAC. When they had the championship game here, me and my family went to see Alcorn and somebody else play for.
It's all family.
Yeah, it's all family. Let them know one more time where to contact someone, maybe a phone number or an email address that they are interested in, because I'm a member of the Maroon and Gray, and we do a lot of that. What do they call that item you guys got here where the kids are able to go eat?
The nutrition station.
The nutrition station. We do a lot of donating in that.
And thank you for that. Yeah. We just had a conversation in our staff meeting about that. So thank you all for that. And you will be recognized.
Yes, Maroon and Gray, we do. That's one of our things that we do. We make sure that fueling station has what they need. And that's just a little small item, family, but individual contributions also help. And if nothing else, buy a season ticket.
Yes.
Buy a season ticket for basketball, football, anything you can buy a season ticket for. And it's picking up, because I was a little slow in getting my ticket for the VIP area for football. And the guy said, I want a corner seat. He said, oh, the corner seat's just by Gomer's, bro. I'm like, what? and so a lot of people now coming on board, putting on. And so I want that to continue. That if you can't donate to the NIL, you just don't understand what a season ticket does. A season ticket, and I'll let Doc tell you.
Yeah, and even for our sports that don't have tickets, just to be there and support our student athletes makes a whole lot of difference. I mean, you talked about how, Southern would travel. Just come out to the games. It just makes such a big difference when you can look up in the stands and see people wearing maroon and gray.
Wearing your colors.
That makes, and, it kind of gives them a little boost.
Yes, it does.
So, if it's not, basketball, as I said, basketball is just starting, but we've got baseball and softball coming up. Come out to the track meets. We just had a meeting the other night about the Texas relays. Come and support that. All of our sports, all of our young men and women need to see people in the stands. That helps a lot. And, write that check too. We're taking those checks too.
You said something about they need to see people in the stands. If you saw the show, which I think you said you saw the one with Coach Dishman, I always end the show, and once we let you go, we're going to do a little sports information, and that is that I tell them I don't care where the game is. If you're not a TSU alum, because we have people that watch my show that actually didn't attend Texas Southern. And I tell them, if you're in the vicinity where Mississippi Valley is playing Alcorn this particular week, go to the game.
Yes.
Go support all the HBCUs. Quite naturally, we want you to support this one, but go to the others. Right, we want you to support this one first, but it becomes very contagious when people look and see, they see the game, and they say, man, I watched the Southern game last year, and I saw y'all had that stadium y'all had half that stadium filled up on your side. I said, yeah, it's getting better. It's getting better. And so we just need to continue to go in that direction. Dr. J, I'm not going to hold you. I know you're busy, but I want you to tell the listening audience one more time how much of a factor they can become in elevating TSU athletics to another level.
Absolutely. We are, as I said earlier, the goal is to be legendary. So that was my charge to my staff, to the coaches, the student athletes. So I'm gonna make that charge to TSU alums, supporters. As he said, you don't have to be an alum.
Right.
If you support Texas Southern, I'm gonna challenge you to be legendary as well. Come out and support. Our young men and women, they really need you in the stands, screaming and cheering for them. And we need you to write those checks too. Mrs. Hughes, if you go to our website, you can contact her directly, and she can give you all the information about the different ways that you can connect.
Now, where do they go? Excuse me for interrupting. Where do they go to? Because some of my people might be a little slow, so to go real slow with them and let them know. Go to TSU dot whatever, look for Joy whatever, and then email her or call her and tell her what you're interested in doing.
Yes.
We're going to take it from A to B.
Okay. So go to the athletics website. So it's tsuathletics.com. Ms. Hughes, look for her name on the website. She can give you, she's our director of development. She can give you all the different ways that you can support. One of the big campaigns that we have coming up, as you know, the holidays are coming up, and men's and women's basketball and men's and women's track will still be playing and practicing over the break. The university cafeteria will be closed. So there is a campaign that you can connect with to donate money to help us to feed them during the holiday break. That information will be available next week. There will be a link that you can go to, and you know, different ways that you can support. You can do a specific team, or you can support them all. This information will also be available at our upcoming basketball games. There'll be a QR code there where you can scan and support that. So that's the first thing that's coming up, but there's several different ways.
On the rise.
And if you have a business, you want to connect with us to be one of our sponsors, please do that as well. Mrs. Hughes can connect you with that information as well. But we just really want to make sure that we are connecting and being intentional about the support that we're asking. Because a lot of people will say, well, I never gave because nobody asked.
Right.
I'm asking you.
Right.
I'm asking you to support. I want to get out and meet, you know, everybody. I'm trying to set my calendar where I can get out. I can do more things like this and get involved in the city.
Let me ask you something. I don't know if you know or Miss Joy know. Have the president of the different alumni associations been notified about this dinner thing over the holidays? Because instead of us giving our monthly deal for the fuel station, maybe they might can donate something toward that. Have you contacted them?
We just had this meeting, so we have not.
Oh, you
have.
haven't?
We will do that. Yeah. And I am presently trying to schedule a meeting with all alumni chapter presidents, going through national alumni to do that. So that is in the works. So if you're a member, look out for that. I'm not sure when it's going to be, but it's in the works. Because I want to be engaged. I want to be able to have conversations like this to talk about what we're doing, where we're going, and how you can be a part of that and really support our student athletes.
Okay. Well, family, I think our athletic department's in good hands. Matter of fact, speaking, one more thing before we get away. And I don't know if I'm prying, but that's my job to pry. Are you looking at potentially staying, or are you just satisfied with the interim tag, or do you like where you are?
Absolutely. Absolutely want to stay.
Yeah, absolutely.
These 2 months flew by. I can't believe football season is almost over and we're into basketball, but it's been great. When I got here, obviously I knew a lot about TSU from, growing up in the SWAC, and, it's a solid program. Because I walked in and people are like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to fix? What are you going to change? The change is the elevation, because the foundation is there. There's nothing to really fix. We just need to build on what we have. So having conversations like this, engaging with your audience, will help us to be able to elevate to the next level. I told my staff this morning, we don't want to be just the best in the SWAC. We don't want to be just the best HBCU. We want to be a model for mid-major institutions, period. That's it.
Okay.
So that's my goal.
Well, I'm all for that. And I've liked what I've heard so far. And Dr. J, we might have to have you on the program again.
Okay.
If you're
I'm
able
open.
to.
Sure.
And so, family, without further ado, what we want to do is, one more time, as I always tell you guys, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and down below, write a comment and tell us what you think about Dr. J. Tell us what you think about her. Do you think she's a good fit for Texas Southern? Most of my women listeners gonna probably say something, but I want you men to also. I want you men to say something too down below about what you think about Dr. J. I think the program is. I like the fact about being legendary. That encompasses so much. It doesn't mean just walking around. It just means that you want to elevate, as she said, the university. Dr. J, it's so wonderful having you on the show today. You have enlightened me about where Texas Southern is heading, and I like it. So,
Great.
Hope to see you again on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Go Tigers.
Mr. Womack is the broker and president and CEO of Womack Development Investment Realtors, a private minority-owned full-service commercial and residential real estate brokerage firm. Over the years, he has been known to be a respected community businessman and partner and has received many awards. Now, he sells real estate everywhere, but this specialty is right here in 3rd Ward. This guy can get it taken care of for you. And we're back. Let's go through a little HBCU sports right now currently and maybe touch on a little bit of the national sports scene. First of all, in the SWAC, this week, as I always say, if you're in the vicinity, go to one of the games. You just do not understand how much it means to each college for you to purchase a ticket. So please, if you're listening to me and if you're in drive distance of going to one of the HBCU games we're getting ready to call off, please attend. And the college will definitely appreciate it. All right, getting it started. Alabama State is going to be at Mississippi Valley. UAPB is going to be at Prairie View. Prairie View is currently leading the West. And Alabama State is actually tied in the East with Jackson State, but Jackson State owns the victory over them, so that's the tiebreaker. You got TSU will be at Southern University this week in Baton Rouge. FAMU is going to be at Alabama A&M. Bethune-Cookman is going to be at Jackson State. That should be a pretty good game. I think Jackson State will beat them, but Bethune-Cookman will score. They will score on them. But they can't seem to hold the big schools, not the big schools, but the powerful schools. Alabama State beat them 40-something to 30-something. So generally, if you score 30-some odd points, you should win. I got Jackson State against Bethune-Cookman. Alcorn is playing Grambling State. That's a pick 'em in that Alcorn has won their last 2 games. And with it being an Alcorn, I want to give it to Grambling because Grambling has the better record, but Corn is on a roll right now. So I'm going to pick Corn and Alcorn. FAMU is at Alabama A&M. FAMU is in a little of a roll right now. They've won their last 2 games, and they're playing at Alabama A&M, which have lost their last 2 games. So I'm going to pick FAMU at Alabama A&M. TSU at Southern. We lost our last game, but Southern's lost their last 5 or 6. They're 0-6. But doesn't mean anything when they play in TSU. I'm hoping that TSU does not play down to the level because Southern is just, as I said 4 weeks ago when they lost their coach, they're in total disarray. I don't expect them to win another game. But now they're playing TSU. My team, I don't know. UAPB at PV, I'm looking for the Panthers to put it on. The mighty Golden Lions. And then Alabama State at Mississippi Valley. I'm looking at Alabama State. They got a well-oiled machine on offense. And I don't think Valley's going to be able to keep up with them. Now, in the SIAC, Albany State is getting ready to play Benedict for the championship. and in the SIAC. Now, Albany has already beaten Benedict one time, but Benedict has a good team. They have a good reputation for being in the winner's circle all the time. They were back-to-back champs 2 years ago before they lost their coach to South Carolina State. But this new coach has got them right back in the mix. But I'm going to take Albany State against Benedict in a rematch. They've beaten them already 31-3 early in the season. Kentucky State out of the SIC also is going to make the playoffs. Virginia Union in the CIAA is going to play Johnson C. Smith for the championship. Virginia Union has a good legacy reputation of having winning teams. And Johnson C. Smith won last year, so this should be a good game. Now, Grambling and Bethune-Cookman played last week, and they had a terrible fight at halftime coming out of the dressing room. They have been fined. Jackson State got fined, I said Jackson State. Grambling State got fined $40,000. 16 of their players got put on suspension, and 6 of Bethune-Cookman's players got put on suspension. They can't play this upcoming week. At first, Mickey Joseph at Grambling State, when he was asked this last week, he was saying, hey, you can't come into Grambling and disrespect us like that. So we can't have that. But after talking to the commissioner at SWAC, he changed his tune on Monday. He and the coach at Bethune-Cookman both addressed the media and said that has no place in college athletics, that type of brawl. And they should be better, and they don't expect that to ever happen under his watch again, the fighting. And it's a bad look for HBCU. They fight in all colleges, but the brawl, they had a brawl. Go see if you can find it on YouTube. They had a brawl. So they both lost players for this week on suspension, and Bethune-Cookman got fined $25,000. And as I told you, these schools not in a position to be paying money like that. So going on, we got a little bit of basketball. I just wanted to talk about Bethune-Cookman beat Coastal Georgia. They have a 5-star guard on their team that attended University of Texas. He's out of Dallas, Texas. And this guy is unreal. He got in trouble at University of Texas, went to Kansas last year and or the year before, and never got a chance to play. I don't know why, but he never got a chance to play. So he went to junior college last year and got eligible again. And so Bethune-Cookman got him. And I don't know how Texas Southern, he's from Dallas, how we missed that. But he's at Bethune-Cookman, and this guy's going to be a difference maker for Bethune-Cookman. So Alabama State, the defending SWAC champs, also beat UAPB. So this is nothing new to the SWAC. I can remember back in the day when TSU was beating Michigan, Minnesota, University of New Mexico. So this happened before. These SWAC schools beat these major companies. But these are the two wins that stand out to me right now. And the Texans have rebounded with a victory last week against the Jaguars. They might have saved their season. This weekend will let me know because they play the Tennessee Titans. They should not lose to the Tennessee Titans. I know every pro team has pro athletes, but if the Texans are trying to get where they were projected to get to this year, they need to beat the Tennessee Titans. University of Houston football team is 8-2. Willie Fritz has done a magnificent job. You get some negativity from certain people talking about University of Houston football, saying they hadn't played anybody. But that's what haters do. Haters gonna hate. But what Willie Fritz has done is not listen to the haters. He's decided that, hey, we can only play the teams that are in front of us, and that's what they're doing, and they're beating them. They had a big victory and Orlando, Florida last weekend when they beat UCF, University of Central Florida. So they got a big game coming up next weekend. They're off this weekend when they play TCU, Texas Christian University. That's going to be the teller. If they can beat that one, they can win that last game also. But they're playing TCU next weekend. And UH basketball is off to a great start. The 3 blue chip freshmen that they got, Kingston Fleming is off the hook. He is a bad boy, point guard for University of Houston. And they are 3-0. But they get their first challenge this weekend. Today is 11/13. On 11/15, they're going to play Auburn University. Look it up. It's going to be on national TV. Should be a great game. This is going to be their first test against somebody that's got good athletes like they do. But I always roll with Kelvin Sampson, because one thing about University of Houston, and this is what the great teams, you've heard the phrase, offense is good for the show. Offense is for show, but defense is for championships. And that's what University of Houston has carrying them every year. They're going to play some defense. That's why I say I'm going to roll with Kelvin Sampson against Auburn. I'm going to roll with him with that one. And my Lakers, they're doing real good right now. They lost to OKC last night. They got drubbed. But LeBron is not in, but I don't look for them to be in no championship mix this year. Who I think might have a good chance is my second team, which is the Houston Rockets. And I get slack all the time from my buddies talking about you can't have 2 teams, but as I've told them before, I can have 2 teams. One of my teams is the Lakers and one of them is the Rockets. They are starting to gel with KD, Kevin Durant. They are starting to gel magnificently. So family, we had a great show earlier, and I want to one more time remind you to get your merchandise. Let me kind of move back a little bit. Hopefully my producer won't get upset with me. We got the long sleeve t-shirts now. It's getting cold. We got the long sleeve hoodies. So down below, let us know what you think about them. But also contact me at fatlarrypodcast@gmail.com. fatlarrypodcast@gmail.com so you can purchase your long sleeve t-shirt and a hoodie. fatlarrypodcast@gmail.com. Text me or email me and let me know what color you like. Do you want a short sleeve, long sleeve, or a hoodie? And we'll get it done for you. So family, hope everyone has a great weekend. Until the next time we see you, peace out.